told me a few years ago that we would ever read headlines like these.
It's Lorren from the Broken Radio with Josh, a.k.a. Weerd Science. We're up in Albany, where it's evidently still winter.
Yeah, only in Albany. The rest of like upstate New York, Buffalo's warm today.
Yeah,
but in Albany we still have 2 feet of snow. So
in Rhode Island, it's nice. I almost wore shorts today, and I'm glad I didn't.
No, if you go down to New York City, there's no snow on the ground. You take the 3-hour bus trip up, there's 3 feet of snow on the ground. It's a different world up here, but that's how we do it in Albany.
Well, the first time you and I ever talked was back in the end of '07. We talked about an album that was coming out real soon called Sick Kids. We are 3.5 years later, and we're talking about Sick Kids, but it's much more positive, and the album's coming out. Give me the release date.
May 17th, the record's coming out, and just, you know, to reiterate, you know, as a Weerd Science as a whole, as a group, was met with a lot of obstacles, some firmly planted by yours truly, some just from the outside world, and it's never that we didn't want to put Sick Kids out. It's still completely relevant. We put on some finishing touches as early as 2 weeks ago, and it's something we really believe in and are excited to put out. But we were always excited. I think that's the point I'm trying to make. It's not like we said, we don't want to put this thing out. We kind of lost our label. We were waiting for something to happen, and we hooked up with MC Lars and Horace Records, and the rest is history, as they say. Everything's just been going great. We're doing a Kickstarter campaign, which is, you know, when it was first brought up to me, I thought it was a bit foreign. I never really heard of it before, but what an exciting thing. You know, we set a goal of $4,000. I think we're like $650 away right now, and it's just been invigorating to see that people still give a shit. We care. We always have cared. We never didn't care, and we care about this thing more than anything. So this is just... I mean, it's exciting, and we're thrilled. We couldn't be more happy. We're going to Europe. We're doing Warped Tour. You know, we're playing tonight. This is just a little hometown show, a little hello, what's up, missed you, good to be here, good to kick it kind of thing. But, you know, there's a lot going on right now, and we feel really thankful, and we couldn't be more psyched, man.
Also, I imagine it's difficult to put out a record when you're out on the road for a year straight almost with another band.
You know, it's kind of like a double-sided thing, because without Terrible Things, none of this would really be happening. Terrible Things was really a platform for me to hit the road again, play with a band, play with other guys that are on a professional level with me. And I love being in Terrible Things, but there's kind of no substitute for playing shows every day. You get in this mindset where you're like, I swear one day it was like an epiphany. I was like, oh yeah, that's what a good show is about. And Weerd Science had done shows, maybe a show here and then 3 months later another show, and there was like some rust that was getting shaken off, and there was people walking down the street. You get rusty, and Terrible Things provided an opportunity to kind of shake off the musical rust in a way, be back in a band, be, you know, on a major label and do things that way, but really just cemented how much I want to do Weerd Science straight to the people, straight, no middleman, no labels. I mean, I've been on 3 major labels and indie labels, and some really good, some really bad, but this is the way to do it, to bring the music directly to the people. So it's a aesthetic that we bring. It's very punk rock, and it just feels really real and something we're super excited about.
Now, speaking of Terrible Things, you're pulling double duty on Warped Tour, right?
I am, yeah. I'm going to do the set with Terrible Things, and I'm going to do the set with Weerd Science. I'm hoping to start another band and get them on Warped Tour and just do triple duty. Possibly quadruple duty. We don't know yet, but
be like Dave Grohl. Be like 15.
I just want to be like Dave Grohl. That's so funny. I want to be the Dave Grohl of rap.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Sick Kids. You mentioned the Kickstarter page. It's basically a pre-order. I mean,
yeah, you can pre-order the record. You can, you know, there's a couple different packages. Some that we thought were kind of funny. Maybe people would be interested, like the Josh Eppard drum lesson and things of that nature. But people have been so supportive. Tons of pre-orders, tons of people, you know, you can give as little as $1, and, you know, each dollar counts. So it's been just, it's been awesome. People are really supportive, and we're blown away.
Very cool. Now, let's talk a little bit about the album. I've had the privilege of hearing some of the stuff early.
You probably heard most of it.
I've heard probably all of it, but I didn't want to tell people that. So they don't email me
love
asking
Lorren,
for it.
man.
I'm not giving it to you. All right, well then, fine. Let me put that out there. When can I start playing baby parts?
Shit, man, I don't care. Tomorrow.
All right.
Start playing Baby Parts tomorrow. You know, Lorren, over the years we've become friends and stuff, and I'm glad that you've heard the whole record. It will be slightly different. We recut Drugs, the vocals yesterday. Drugs is the first song on the record. Drugs 2.0, actually, it's called. Not because we recut the vocals, just because my brother's in a band called Drugs. So, but there's a couple little minor differences here and there. We did a song called Unlovable Loser, which is streaming on AP.com right now.
Which is, I noticed, a different mix. Sounds, much more polished.
Yep. You know, I think that's always something we wanted to do. We always wanted the records to sound good. Some of the shit's dirtier than ever, and maybe that's what the song wanted, and maybe it was warranted in that particular song. But we're sticklers, man. We're really funny about shit like that. We really have a specific vision, and I know sometimes the engineers probably want to strangle me, but it's a specific vision, and I care. It's not something I don't care about, and it needs to be right, and we made sure it was right. So it's gone through a lot of different channels, and it definitely sounds banging, and it's the best thing I've ever done. I'm really proud of it, and it's by far, it's like the creative kind of summit for me. It feels really important to me, so I'm so happy it's coming out.
And
obviously,
the album will be available in a couple different forms: compact disc, digital download, and then the USB pill.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. How's that work?
Well, the USB pill is going to be just basically everything. There's a lot of unreleased stuff that you can find on KillYourRapper.com, but there's also a lot of stuff, just things that didn't make the first record. The first record will be on there as well, Friends and Nervous Breakdowns, which was originally an Equal Vision release. It's basically everything that I've ever done, and what a great format for us to drop that, and I want people to hear some of those songs. People would ask me, like, hey, how come this song's not on the first record? Well, it was never that the song wasn't good enough. It was that record was mixed while I was in Europe, and I just didn't think it was ready. Maybe at the time I thought, oh, well, we'll do a better mix of this and get it out. Again, going back to the whole stickler
thing.
Well,
a good example of that would be Leader 1. You went back, revisited that track on Sick Kids.
Many times. Yeah, it's just, we care, and it's not different than the way a Coheed record was made, or when people care, you go back, you tweak, you go back, you tweak, you hear different things, the song or the universe is telling you different things, so you're constantly in there tweaking it, getting it right. Steely Dan took, like a year and a half to make a record once, and no record's ever really finished. You could give me Friends and Nervous Breakdowns, and I could, totally retweak a ton of things. I don't think that record's particularly the best sounding record in the world, but for the time I thought it sounded pretty good.
Is that an advantage, you think, that you've had as much time before the initial working on Sick Kids to now bringing it out, that you've been able to go back and say,
yes and
after
no. Sometimes, and it's finding a balance, as often a lot of things in life are about finding a balance, but sometimes I would be the first to admit that maybe there's too much time, that maybe the initial feeling without all the sprinkles would have been the best way. And it's about, for me as an artist, as a producer, as anything that I'm doing artistically, it's about finding that line. I listen to a lot of records that are really stripped down, and I wonder if I would have the kind of fortitude or the knowledge to not put all these things in it, or to leave it a little bit messed up. So I'm always kind of playing with that line, and hopefully I'm getting better at not blurring the line and finding what works best. So, but it's a curse and a blessing, I guess, both things.
Cool. All right, so you're playing tonight. At Valentine's.
Yeah, baby.
The City Never Sleeps, and then coming up, you've got the overseas tour with Lars and MC Chris. And
yep. And then we come back and do Warped Tour. All kinds of stuff. There's some other big shows coming up. I don't think I'm at liberty to talk about, but just monster big shows. And Weerd Science is busy. We're at it, and we're putting in the work, putting in the miles. So that's what's going on.
So why don't you give everybody the new link? You've got a new one.
He keeps it real, Lorren. There's sirens in the background. Oh shit! That was hilarious. Well, the new link is you can go to WeerdScience.net, and that can get you to everything. Get you to the Kickstarter. You can see all kinds of new videos. We did a thing for Nervous Energies. We did a thing for AP.com, and more to come. We're at this for real this time. There's no bullshit. We're coming at it.
And in case the siren was too loud, it's WeerdScience.net.
WeerdScience.net.
And there's a link to all the other stuff on there too. So very cool.
And more shit to come. So if you like it and you dig it, we're gonna flood you with stuff because it's about bringing the music to the people, and that's what we're all about. So.
And I'll always tell you about it too on the Broken Radio.
You can always hear from our man Lorren. So
there you go.
Peace.
All right, Josh. Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, sir. We'll do the handshake.
We break them, we crush them, we need them, we love them, we